Just a few months ago, we were living off-grid in the Puerto Rican jungle. Before that, we were living on a sailboat. Now, we're technically homeless and trying to figure out what's next. So we've landed in Florida, and today's the start of our next adventure, house hunting. If you didn't see last week's episode, we have been going house hunting, and we have been looking for our house in Florida. Quickly to go recap, I'm looking for an old house that we can redo, but isn't too bad that we can't move into it while we redo it. A fireplace would be cool, and maybe a pool.
I'm wanting something very affordable and also with some privacy. Either I could do that with a bigger land lot and some trees, or a good proximity to something recreational like a river or something really fun for me to go out and do, or a waterfront or a beach, so that I can surf and do something cool. So I want like a fun...
You said affordable and you said beach.
Yeah, beach. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I want affordable waterfront property. And
He's looking for a unicorn.
And Kristen's like, I want just a really cool house. I don't care where it's at, but it's got to be super, super cool.
So last time we put in our offer and it got rejected and thrown out the water. So we went back to the board and we said, could we imagine seeing or living in any of these other houses that we looked at? And we both thought this specific house, and a lot of you in the comments on the last week's video also agreed. Okay. So we drove by it and we said, does this feel like our neighborhood? Does this feel right? And then we saw people who were in the driveway and we're like, oh no, someone's gonna buy it. And the very next day, it was under contract, pending, under contract, so we missed out on that
contract
one.
And we cried. We looked at it and we said...
Yeah, we thought that was it, and it was not. Then we went back to that waterfront property with the pool that Matt really liked, that I thought the house is really ugly, and that one also went under contract.
Yeah,
so
that one was sick, though. I knew that one was going under contract, and that was one that I couldn't really afford. But then it came a little more closer to our budget, so I said, oh, we might as well go look. Clearly fell in love with it, but so did everyone else. It's a cool house, beautiful location, so someone else said, that's mine.
So we went back out searching for houses, and that's where we'll pick up now. The very first house, Matt picked it out. It was completely DIY. It looked like some crazy hippie home. I said, no, we're not going to go see that. This isn't a house that you can fix and make better. It's already completely mumble-jumbled and glued and stick together.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of you guys told me in the comments last week that a woman's place is to listen to her man.
They did say that, but that's not what we do.
They did say that in the comments. So I said, I'm putting my foot down, Kristen. I ain't no simp for you. And I said, I'm the husband, you're the wife, and we're gonna go see this. We're gonna go see this house. I needed to see this house, and I was not taking no for an answer.
So right off rip, it had a weird copper homemade ceiling and side thing. You can tell that they did it themselves. It's like kind of dented. The windows in the front were not actual windows. They were plastic.
That was a little embarrassing.
The yard was kind of cool and private, but then there was this side building that was a mother-in-law suite, and the top looked like someone's comforter that was painted and then stapled onto the ceiling.
This house was sick. This house was sick, but we codenamed it Acid Trip because people were definitely tripping on acid when they designed, built, and lived in this place. But it was so cool and eclectic that I just had to see it, and it was walking distance to the Atlantic Ocean. So for me and surfing, that would have been great. You know, that would have been great to jog down to the beach to try to stay in shape. So, but the problem with this one was, even though it had a lot of DIYs that we would have had to fix, they weren't things that I think anyone would have enjoyed seeing destroyed and replaced, because it was just too artistic and it was just too cool of a house, really.
Let's just tell them the truth. It was super high priced.
Oh yeah, well it's the proximity to the ocean is of course.
It wasn't that close to the ocean.
It was like less than a quarter.
No one wants a comforter ceiling, Matt. The next one was my pick. This was in a really great neighborhood, very private, very cool. All the houses had great landscaping. I was super excited to look at this house. It was a higher priced house, but not out of reach.
In the listing, mother-in-law suite. So, you know, for me and my cruddy-duddy family members that always got to be moving in with me 24/7, I was like, okay, that's an option for my family down the road. But it ended up being kind of...
It wasn't a mother-in-suite. It was just the other side of the house created into it. So basically a weird maze of a house. The layout was a mess.
And it was
And
really
there
cool.
was some really great aspects. Like
Yeah,
the bathroom of the primary was really big.
The primary was a 10 out of 10, but then the other bedrooms were just weird. And there's an office over there, and then just a random door in the back. It was just crazy. So it was cool, but it just was not cool enough for us.
So we had 2 kitchens, basically. The kitchen was nice. It was pulling at my heartstrings, but this is the mother-in-law suite, a second weird kitchen. You could just knock it out. And he did give another floor plan to say that what you could do. Yeah. You could knock out, see, these bedrooms are very small, like
and weird
cubby holes. So you could knock out that middle wall, make one large bedroom. There was things you could do.
I mean, there's always something you could do, but by the time, because it wasn't super cheap either. So I'm not paying tip-top price for basically a yard when...
Yeah, no pool.
And then tearing the entire house apart.
And no fireplace.
Yeah, no pool, no fireplace. If I have to tear the whole place down and add those components, that's another, $100,000 right there, minimum. So it was cool, it was nice, but after looking at it, loved the location, but it just wasn't quite the house for us.
Next one had a big lot, so I thought Matt would like it. Turns out he did not like it because it was just a giant lot of grass to cut and not one with privacy. So I failed on that one when I picked this one out. But it did have a fireplace, and the ceilings were cool. And as further inspection, this house seems like someone freshly renovated it, so it didn't really feel ideal to rip it up and do our own stuff. It seemed too nice, and it was probably the most expensive house we saw.
Yeah, it was a beautiful house though, and it was on a half acre or 1 acre or something like that. But it was like just a flat acre with like maybe 15 trees on it, so it was just a lot of grass for me to cut and maintain. It wasn't like a lush, I feel like I'm on my own private oasis here. I could have built a pond. It had enough room where I could have excavated and put a pond in, but how cool can a pond really be?
And no pool.
No pool, far from the beach, far from the rivers, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So no real recreation for me. Just overall a beautiful home.
But small also.
Yeah, that I thought I could grow to love and gave me a lot of open areas for outside and things that I like doing, but not necessarily exactly what I was looking for. And it was a tip-top price as well. And
yeah, I did like the house.
Yeah, and the odds of me haggling them down is low because they just clearly put fresh money into it. So they were going to want what they wanted.
Also, another giant workshop was in the back, which I thought you would like that too.
But I couldn't get inside to look at it, so I was like, I don't know. Who am I? I couldn't get in there. I'm sure it was lovely, but I'm going to need a workshop. She's going to make me work, but there was nothing to redo. So there was nothing to work at that shop.
So we're going to have to continue to look at some more houses because it's clearly not over yet. So last night, a house came up on the market that felt like too good to be true. It was a big house. It was on the water, and it was kind of completely broken apart. Maybe a hurricane, maybe just people aren't taking care of it. It seemed like the answer to our prayers because 1, it's on the water for Matt. 2, the house was cool. 3, it needed to be repaired. But the bad part was it was really expensive and they basically want cash for it.
Yeah, it was wild at the top of the budget. So we called, we looked in, and they said, yeah, this is a cash offer. And I said, oh, okay, well, I definitely don't have that much cash. And they were like, well, you can deal with a hard money lender. So I was like, oh, tell me more. And this was like definitely even out of the budget, probably even for any sake. But they said, what you can do is you get a hard money lender and you hire a general contractor and they'll loan you money in like the short term. It's like a 6 month to a year loan that you have to pay it back by. So more or less what my understanding of it is, you get a distressed property. They can't give you a regular loan because the house can't be insured. So you can't get the house and live in it. So they give you a hard money loan. So basically you take it as is. You don't need insurance for the time being. You make the repairs. You go to a legitimate bank. You get a loan on what the value would be of the new house that you just fixed would be appraised for. Then you take that loan, you pay back your loan sharks, and then you have your loan to the bank, and then you can get insurance and you can live in that house for whatever deal you negotiated with the with the bank. So it was a cool kid alert. I was like, oh, okay, maybe we can do this, and I can just work really hard.
It seemed like high risk, though.
Yeah,
it seemed complicated.
Yeah.
It seemed like high risk, and
it's higher risk because if you, for one, you don't truly know what any of these homes are going to appraise for. But if you work with a general contractor, all the work you're doing is being permitted. You know, architects, engineers are working on all of that, so it's all legit. So once that is done, you're being inspected all the way through. So once it's done, you do have this house, and then odds of the value, it's not going to be less than what you paid for it cash. So you're still going to be able to pay off for some sweat equity. You could pay off your loan to the lenders, and then you'd have a really low monthly payment to live like in a millionaire neighborhood. I was like, oh, okay, maybe we can do this. So we were looking into maybe doing it. I was calling my dogs that were GCs, and basically the house just sold in 5 seconds. Less than 24 hours.
The next morning, it was sold.
This has happened to us. It was like the 4th time that we look at a house, and within 24 hours, it's off the market. And I'm just like, oh, not another one.
Yeah, there was a really cool atrium one. I'll leave pictures on it. I was super excited about it. I thought this is the unique home of my dreams. Fireplaces in atrium. It was super cool, and then it sold the next day.
Yeah, super unique house. Beautiful. I was like, I'm picturing, and I told Kristen, because I liked a different house, and I said, well, if we get the atrium house as a contingency, because I know words like that now that I've been in the mortgage field for a while, I said, as a contingency, I'm going to put exotic birds in that atrium. I'm going to have parakeets and cockatoos just living in that atrium. I said, so be prepared. And she said, deal. She said, I love that atrium house so much that I'm not like, I'll go get it. But that one right away off the rip too. Kristen has very good taste in real estate.
Thanks.
Not in men as much, but in real estate she's got great taste. If she sees something, it is gone within like that.
I know what's good.
Yeah,
okay, so anyone making fun of me in the wet bar ideas, you don't know nothing.
Yeah, if you see a house with a wet bar, gone next day. So don't try to argue, because me and Kristen has a style, but then I come in with like I want to argue. You can't do that. If the house is cool, like any of the ones Kristen says, just go in and give them what they're asking for and fight about it later.
Guys, you're not going to believe this. We were starting to get pretty defeated. I was looking at the houses on Zillow, and nothing was looking that good. And then all of a sudden, the waterfront house that we looked at previously, something fell through with that, and it's back up on the market. And I'm feeling like this is a sign. I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
I'm super excited about it because that's the most awesome house. It's beautiful. It's the coolest house. It's realistically the only house that I've truly wanted out of any of the ones that we looked at. This would be like a dream house for
only
me.
I didn't like the house because it was small and weird and no fireplace.
And because Kristen's just secretly a hater. But yeah, it's like my dream house. So I said, oh man, this could be something like from my wildest childhood. So I could be like, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. But now I'm also apprehensive too, though, because I'm like, why did it fall through? What happened? What is bad? You know, were the people just poor and couldn't afford it? Hopefully that's all it was. Or did they get in there and they found a chrysantula nest underneath the house? Or
he means tarantulas. That's what he calls tarantulas. I don't know why.
Because
they don't have tarantulas in Florida. You're thinking about Puerto Rico. Something could have fallen through from inspection or something, and they backed out and said, yeah, I don't want this.
Yeah, or maybe it's got a bunch of problems because it's an expensive house. So if I get it with a bunch of expensive problems, you know, I don't got that kind of cheddar cheese. So I don't mind working and fixing stuff.
We're going to go look at it once more, and we're going to see what we think.
We're going to
go. And then we might put an offer in.
Oh, yeah.
But let's find out, maybe from our realtor, why it fell through.
No, yeah, the first time I was talking to my realtor about this house, I said, look, I only got one baby, so I can't trade the firstborn. I said, but I do have 2 kidneys. I said, if somebody, I can sell one of these kidneys on the black market and we can wiggle our way in there. But yeah, I have trepidations now, of course. So I'm going to have to be cynical and say something must have been bad wrong with it for the people not to buy it. But yeah, we got to go look at it again, and we just have to see where we're at.
right, guys, we got the tea on why the offer fell through from our realtor. What happened?
My realtor called and said that some people made an offer. It wasn't a great one at first.
Californians.
Some Californians called and made an offer, but they did it sight unseen. So normally I guess people don't like that sort of thing. So they gave them like an extra long time to get inspected. They gave them a 15-day inspection extension, and I guess the Californians never got out here in their 15 days to get it inspected, so the house went back on the market. And now I think we should get our grubby little hands on it if we can.
We seen it and we think we're gonna put in an offer, so that's what we're gonna do.
I know, and I've been fighting with my real estate agent because I'm saying we should put an offer full price, and she said no, let's not put in the offer full price. But I'm still scared.
Matt really wants it, so he doesn't want to lose it. And I feel like, does that mean those Californians are still going to be wanting to put in another offer?
Yeah, they're in the weeds saying, whoa, let's just calm down.
So we're feeling the pressure.
Yeah, so I'm feeling the pressure. I'm making basically a panic buy, but then I'm also like every house.
We're not making a panic buy. You like this house, and I think I could grow to love it.
Every house she likes sells in a day, and then these people already have someone interested that was sending sick bread, trying to just sick it over the phone. And then, you know,
we're gonna put an offer in. I'm deciding we're gonna do it. We don't know if it's gonna get accepted. We have to talk it over with the realtor, what exactly we feel comfortable paying and what we feel comfortable paying for this house. It is an old house. We don't know what's gonna happen in inspection. We don't know any of that, but all we can do is hope they accept our offer now.
Yeah, so that's why I don't want to offer them anything lower. I want to offer them what they're asking for. I ain't gonna disrespect them out the gate, but we can always argue later if the inspection don't come back right. We can always fight later. But might as well shut the door on everybody else right now.
You might be able to save a little bit of money. But let's not do what we did at that last house.
Yeah, we tried to do that and we didn't even get to talk about it. They said
rejected. So let's hope we don't get rejected, guys. Fingers crossed in the comments. Come back next week. We're going to see if we got accepted. It's exciting times for us. Let's hope for the best.
These are exciting times.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.